our viewers. My name is Lucien Jeffrey. Welcome to the Entrepreneur TV show. We are so happy to be able to bring this to you and showcase the members of the Entrepreneur Nation and the members of the business community in London, Ontario. We've been doing this for 4 years. I personally do this on volunteer basis to be able to support the business community. And I decided to do this much more during the pandemic. I also want to thank Rogers TV for giving us a chance to be able to showcase the business owners in London, Ontario. Today, our guest is Chris Burton. Chris is a financial advisor, financial securities advisor. And when I turn the screen, we'll be able to see Chris and learn more about him and what makes him serve his clients for the many years that he has been doing that. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hey, Lucy. I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. How are you today?
Good. Welcome to our show. You know, Chris, I know you are very busy and we will hear all that, the activities that you do in London, but let's get to hear about all that. But before we jump into anything, I really want you to tell our viewers about yourself because people say that they do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Well, I'm married to my beautiful wife, Natalie. She's a high school teacher here in London and the department head at our school. We've got 7 beautiful children and 5 grandkids, so we're a very busy, active family, that's for sure. And we like to spend our times in the summer with Natalie being off in Bayfield. We have a trailer there, so we really enjoy Bayfield and Lake Huron area.
Awesome. Great. That's great to know. And so then, yeah, spending summers in Bayfield. Bayfield is great, right? It's beautiful.
It's a hidden gem out there for sure. It's such a beautiful little community. They've done a lot of work in the community in the downtown core over this past year to really make it even more beautiful than it already is.
Wonderful. Great. So then let's look at, I think from your childhood up to now, there are some activities that you love doing. I think you do some. Tell us a little bit more about the activities that you did from when you are young up to now. I don't want to be the one telling our viewers. I want you to be the one doing that.
Sure. Well, one of my little hidden secrets is that for about almost 30 years now or so, I'm a drummer in Scottish bagpipe and drum band. So I'm the current bass drummer in the London and District competition pipe band. So we play at Highland Games all throughout the summer and compete with our pipe band, and we do other local events with the band as well. So that's kind of my little thing that I really enjoy doing for sure, is playing with the pipe band.
Awesome. Great. And did you say that you did that for 40 years?
Yeah, I think it's probably about, I started in, about 1983. So I guess, yeah, that would be 40 years this year since I first started in pipe bands.
That's great consistency. And so then we'll keep an eye on that. Let us know. Maybe our viewers might want to come and watch. Please keep us informed. So then I want to go a little bit because before everyone becomes an entrepreneur, Chris, they do something and then they get into something. What did you do before becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, I really got my start in sales really back in high school. I started working part-time at the mall and mostly in men's clothing. And I really enjoyed just that sales aspect, helping people, seeing their faces when they came out of the change room with their new outfits and how happy they were. But what it really was I learned about commission sales and that you get paid for performance, and that was really what hooked me into the sales, for the rest of my career. But I really learned a lot from learning how to accessorize in different outfits, how to upsell, and I think that was a really important foundation to where I am today.
That's wonderful. You know what? Learning how to earn commission and deciding that you didn't want to do it on at your own pace and decide your own income, right? So
Correct.
when you earn commission, sometimes people don't think it's positive, but you sort of decide how much you want to earn based on how much work you want to do. So I like that idea, and I also like entrepreneurs are commission salespeople, right? Because if we
Mhm.
don't work, we don't get paid. So
Correct.
here is my question for you then. Then after that, you decided to move into the financial industry. So when did you move into the financial industry, and tell us how it's going?
Well, I started about 30 years ago in financial services, mostly in the loans and mortgage area. and learning how to assist families consolidate their debt, save them money. And I really enjoyed that a lot. And then I've moved now into, in the past 15 years, into the insurance, the life insurance and the investments as well, to be able to assist our clients. So really now what we offer is a one-stop shop here at Burton Financial Group. We have an accountant on staff that helps with personal and corporate taxes. We do the investments, as I just mentioned, the mortgage services, all things insurance, the life insurance, disability, critical illness. And then with our partners at Excalibur Insurance, we also offer right here in our office home and auto services as well. So it really is a one-stop shop for all your financial service needs.
Wonderful. Great to hear that. So, and also to hear that you're partnered with others. It's not that you are the one doing everything. So, because I know with the regulated industry, you can't know all the regulations. So, great to hear that you're partnered with others and with all that, length of service and experience. So, here is my question for you. I noticed that you under personal, when I read about you, I was doing about a bit of research about you. You under personal experience that you don't mind sharing with our viewers that makes you stick to the financial industry and that makes you want to serve people and offer them the services that you offer. Do you want to share that with us, Chris?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Lucy. Well, my father came out of retirement, I guess went into retirement at 67, and within the year was diagnosed with a life-threatening cancer. So at a very young age, just coming from all your years in work and not really getting to enjoy the retirement. And back then, I was reviewing his documents, and he had mortgage insurance and he had credit card insurance, all provided by his banks. And so, I insured my mother that everything will be okay once he passes away because he has all this coverage in place. Well, a short time after, within the year, he did pass away. And as I was calling these different credit card companies and his mortgage insurance companies, I found that the answer was the same, is because now he was 68 years old and past the age of 65, his insurance only covered him for accident only coverage. And because he passed away of natural causes, his insurance was no longer in force. So that was very disappointing and devastating to my mother, being stuck with all this, debt of the mortgage and credit cards. And then a few years later, she passed away. And my father's pension that he had worked for all those years, now that he's gone and my mother was gone, was also now gone. And I really, at that point, I made it my mission that I really need to educate our families out there that, make sure that they're protected, make sure they know what's out there to take care of them and protect their families. Is I always say to my clients, you can never rely on your job, your family, or your government to take care of you. It's really up to you to make sure you have the proper planning in place, and they really need that financial education, that financial literacy.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chris. And I'm sorry for your loss, but I thank you for taking that opportunity to serve others using your own experience to do that. As I started this show, I said that people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Your story makes people know you and trust you. Your story makes people know that you're doing what you're doing, not necessarily for money. We all work for money, but you're also doing it because you have a mission, so you can help others so they don't experience what you experience. And Chris, that's why you see on social media, I just share my stories. Stories make people understand where we are coming from. And I thank you for doing that. So then let me ask you, based on your story, your family story, you decided to help families. Your focus is families. So tell us a little bit more about your target clients.
Well, that's right. Our target market really is the average London family. Whether you're starting out with your new job, or you're entering into a relationship with a partner, you're looking at buying a home, possibly starting a family, all the way into moving into the retirement phase. It's really the underserved market out there. A lot of times people think that they need to have a high net worth to be able to deal with financial security advisors. And really, again, my mission is out there to help everybody. We're all broke at a different level, whether you make $30,000 or $300,000 a year. We all have different, needs, goals. We all need those protection in place. And whether, my job is really to protect you, whether you live too long, die too soon or get sick somewhere along the way, it's important to have the proper plan in place. And my job is to be that person to give you that plan and make sure you and your family are protected if something happens to you.
Thank you, thank you. And so, Chris, I thank you for supporting families because with your level of experience, it is possible for you to say you can only take clients who make a certain amount of money, right? In fact, I liked bringing you to the Entrepreneur Nation when you tell me you serve all families. Doesn't matter if they have the willingness to save, if they have the willingness to protect themselves, you are here to help them. Because I've met people, and there's nothing wrong. I've met people who have told me that they can only take people who have 500,000 cash money. If you
Okay.
don't have 500,000 cash money, you can't be their client. I have met people who have told me 1 million cash for them to take you on to be so they can serve you to grow. So I'm like, if I already have 1 million, I already know how to grow my wealth. Why do I need anybody to help me? Right? So I look at them like, so you need to help people who didn't need help. And you see, that's what I do here at the Entrepreneur Nation Craze. Our membership has always been $97 a month since 2018 because I want to help you people to grow their business without having to spend a lot of money, right? So uh, you and I come from the same direction, and I like that. It's all about helping people, whether they have a lot of money or little money. Let's help them. Thank you for that. Now, I wanted to ask you. So then, what's the cost of this? What do you charge them, Chris?
Well, that's a great question, and a lot of people think that there is a fee for these services, especially if you are those clients that have that $500,000, $1 million, and there are advisors out there that charge what's called a fee for service. But really, because our target market is the average families, and especially now when economics and things are very tough, with the exception of our accounting services for your personal income taxes, we don't charge any fees at all. We're paid directly by the insurance companies, the mortgage companies, and the investment companies to make sure that our clients have the right products, the right services that they need to protect them. So really, there's no fee at all to come in. It's really, making sure we provide you the best service, and then we're taken care of by the companies that we serve with you.
Wonderful. Great. Awesome. Great. Thank you. So, Chris, is there anything before I dive into your giving back that you want to talk to us about your financial advising? Are there situations where you feel that a client was in this situation and you helped them to get out of that situation, to get into a better situation without necessarily going into details of privacy?
Well, I think every client situation is unique, and that's really what I enjoy most about our job is that there's no cookie cutter situation. So we've had clients, from starting out in those families, so planning RESPs for their children, to looking for financing to get that first home and getting a mortgage. I've had two clients that we've actually helped save money to buy horses, and I had pictures of the horse Heberty right in my office to show my clients that we helped with the purchase of that. I've helped a young family get their first motorcycle, which was a little scary for the wife, but the husband was very excited. Vacation homes, buying a trailer, everyone's dreams is different. Everyone's goals is different. And that's what makes it so unique, as I mentioned earlier. I really think it's important to share those dreams and touch base with your financial security advisor to help you, achieve those goals.
Wonderful. And I like that people, you're not necessarily only focusing on retirement, you are focusing on, because I've also seen advisors who just focus on retirement, right? How about life now, right? So leading and balanced life. If somebody wants a horse, if somebody wants a motorcycle, let them get it. And then some money saved for retirement. I like how you're balancing it like that. So then, Chris, there's one more question I want to ask you. I want you to go a little bit deeper in details, if you don't mind. I want you to talk about life insurance and critical illness insurance. Sometimes I find that people don't see how important it is and why they should have it and why they should pay monthly. Um, and I believe that just like car insurance, I don't see like over 30 years I'm paying car insurance. So I don't know if I'm saying convince me or tell us why we should have life insurance and critical illness
Well,
insurance.
Canadians don't like paying insurance in general, right? You just mentioned car insurance, home insurance. Obviously, we need to have car insurance. It's mandated by the law. Um, Life insurance, the same thing. What happens if you do die? You see so many of these GoFundMe's for young families because a husband or wife passed away and they weren't properly protected. But we'll take, the money to buy those Tim Hortons coffees every day or have our high internet plans. But, to buy a nice term policy to protect your family, just some income replacement, it really is peace of mind. Insurance is something that we never really want to collect. We hate paying for, but we're glad it's there when the situation comes. So life insurance is very important, and it doesn't matter whether you're young and single. That's when premiums are even lower. You have your health there, so you don't know what life's going to be down the road. So just to get something in place to start a plan, I think is very important. You mentioned critical illness insurance. To me, that's even could be even more important than life insurance. What happens if you get sick or seriously injured and you can't go to work and no longer can collect your paycheck? How can you pay for those bills, your mortgage, your rent, the car payment that you have, your other debts? So critical insurance is really there to help you if you get sick and can't work. Life insurance, of course, if you pass away, your beneficiary is going to get the benefit of that money. But what happens if you have a heart attack and you don't quite die? The life insurance won't help you. So you need that critical insurance really for that income replacement to make sure your family's protected and your income's protected, really. And we're there to help you protect your biggest asset, which is really you. You're the ability to make that money for your family.
Awesome. And so, Chris, then the other question I wanted to ask you, and thank you. Why did you, I think we didn't ask, why did you decide to start your own financial company? Actually, it carries your last name, right? There are
Right,
so many
right.
people who stick with the big companies and being
Mhm.
part of the big companies. Why did you decide to start your own?
Well, I was with one of the bigger companies when I first started in the career. And that is important when you first start out because sometimes you need that branding. Because who is Chris Burton? Who is Burton Financial Group? You haven't built any credibility. But after a number of years, after 8, 9 years, and I had a good client base, I really thought it was time to go out on my own. And I didn't need the branding of a big company anymore. It was really the word of mouth from my clients, the Google reviews we were receiving. I really thought that, the more independence was the way to go and be that true entrepreneur, and not need that safety net of a big company anymore. And I thought it was important. As I said, your biggest asset really is yourself, and that's your name. And my name to me is very important. That's a big asset to me. And I thought it was important just to start our own company and be able to serve our clients under that brand. So that's really why I decided to go out on my own. It was a very tough decision. My wife and I, we had to spend some time together, and you need to go over the numbers and does it make sense? And it is scary at first. There's a lot more responsibilities when you're out on your own. A lot of them financially, a lot of risk out there. But sometimes it's like having to just jump in that pool. You got to just go in head first and hope for the best. Start swimming.
Yes, and I totally agree with you. It's risk taking, right? You take a risk when you go on your own. I remember leaving my bank job 10 years ago, like a bi-weekly check from a big bank in Canada, and going to struggle to try to make ends meet. It's a risk. But really, that's what entrepreneurship is all about. If you're not willing to take a risk, you cannot survive in entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
So thank you for doing that. I wanted now to jump then to your the giving back side. So you are very busy. You have a family. You have a well established practice, but you still find time to give back. So tell us about the Dad Club, where you are the chair and the leader of the group. What is it about, and what do you do there?
Well, Dad Club London is very exciting. This is our 10th year anniversary since we were first founded. I've been a member for just over 6 years now, and I'm the current president of Dad Club London. Again, it's very exciting being our 10th year. In those years, we've raised just over $180,000 that we've supported the local community and donations and families. And what we're making even more exciting this year is we want to, for our 10th anniversary, hit the 200,000 mark of donations. And really, Dad Club is there to help dads in the London and surrounding community, and soon to be dads. Really, it's a group for them to get together and share ideas, learn things, especially when you're a new father. There's a lot of things that you don't know or expect. And it's a great networking group just to support each other. We do lots of events for the families, for the children, and for the dads themselves. As I said, being our 10th year and our goal to raise $200,000, we've committed $20,000 this year and partnered with Ronald McDonald House of Southwestern Ontario. Ronald McDonald House is such a great organization. Here in the London area, they serve over 100 families a day, go through their doors to be able to be close to their children when they're in their time of need, whether it's just to have a nap, have a snack, a shower, do some laundry, but be able to be there with their children. So we're really focusing this year on promoting the fundraising to hit that $20,000 goal, which will put us over $200,000 in donations. Uh, Dad Club is such a great organization. Just it shows your children, it shows people in the community that you want to be involved, and you want to just help your community and we want to make dads better dads for their families, and we want to make London a great community for our families.
Wonderful. That's really great. And I don't know if there's anything equivalent of that for women, for mothers. I would have joined that. So maybe we should start that. We should learn from the dads and start Moms Club of London, something like that. So thank you so much. And I really appreciate it that you're also partnering with other Ronald McDonald's house and helping. So thank you for doing that. I've been seeing you posting about that, and I wanted our viewers to get to know just in case they want to support. So I wanted to ask you then, out of all the things that you have said, Chris, you do a couple of things. What motivates you? Right? What makes you wake up every day to go to work? What makes you do what you're doing? And what among the things that you enjoy doing best?
Well, I think, like I mentioned earlier, that every client situation is unique. And I really do think that, I've told my children before, when you get up in the morning, as you said, and going to work, and they say, "What do you do?" And I really think we make families and individuals' lives better and protected better. And I think just knowing that a family is protected or reaching those dreams, whether they're buying that horse or their house or their motorcycle, or they're getting insurance in place to make sure their family's protected, or we're planning for their retirement, or they're in retirement. That's a common thing when we have clients going into retirement and they're afraid, do they have enough to make it along the way? And just, when clients leave our office and they have that smile on their face and they feel reassured, just knowing that they feel good makes me feel good.
Awesome, great. And Chris, I wanted to ask you one more question because I like having a balanced show. We can talk about all the positive things, but there are some other things that happen, and I know you are not prepared for this. So feel free to talk about it. I know there are times when insurance companies don't approve people, right? Somebody has been contributing and they get denied.
Mhm.
What are the circumstances do you think that might get people being denied? Feel free to let us know so people can know what to avoid when dealing with insurance companies.
Yeah. So there's two times you could get denied. It was one during the application process, and two, I think you might also be referring to at the claim process. So at the application process, being a broker and that's what we are for all of our clients, with the exception of the tax services. We're a broker for the mortgages, for the insurance, and for the investments. So it's about finding the right product for the individual client. So as long as I know everything about you and your health situation, we'll be able to find you the right coverage. You could, be a perfectly healthy individual. You could be someone who was just diagnosed with cancer. We'll be able to find you the right coverage. As long as you're totally upfront on your application, we'll be able to find you the right coverage. That then goes into claim time. There's only a couple of reasons why the insurance company wouldn't pay a claim. One would be if suicide happens in the first 2 years. There's no claim paid out on that. Sometimes return a premium. The other time is, again, if you falsified on your application. There's what's called incontestability clause in the first 2 years. So they'll review your application to make sure it was accurate. Like all things, as long as you're honest and upfront, you should have no issues at claim time. And part of that, our business is, it's great to protect the families, but we're also here to help you at that claim time. And we've done many, many claims through our office. So we're here to support you. I've never had a claim denied in the 15 years that we've been practicing on the insurance side. And I think it's because we're finding the right products for the clients right from the first application.
Wonderful. Thank you for doing that for your client, Chris. Thank you. And as we come to the end of this show, we thank you for your time and for all the great knowledge that you have shared with us. I wanted to focus on you as a member of the Entrepreneur Nation. As a member of the Entrepreneur Nation, I remember, as I said, talking with you. You actually reached out to me on LinkedIn, talking with you and hearing your journey and hearing the clients that you serve, the families, and I knew that you are the right person to join our network. How has it been going?
I think we have a fantastic chapter, and really joining any networking group or even being involved in the community, you have to do it for the right reasons. And for us, the reason really, and for me personally, was how can I help my clients better? Who can I connect with that I can learn more from, or they can provide services to our clients? And we've got some great members in there. And I mean, I could list off, many. I mean, Yulia from LOYR, she's a fantastic estate lawyer. I've met with her, spent time with her personally. I refer my clients to her for all the estate planning needs. Colin at Mortgage Boutique is fantastic with his clients. Jawad over at Royal LePage is fantastic to be able to assist clients in their real estate needs. Dylan with Excalibur Insurance for all their home and auto needs. So we've got Jody over at Maserati and Alfa Romeo is fantastic. There's just, I'll get in trouble now for not listing everybody, but I think we have such a great group. And like I said, it's important, if referrals will come in, like you said, if you're likable and trustable and people, that comes over time. That doesn't come your first day, your first 6 months, maybe even your first year. It takes time. It's like building a relationship, but for me, from day one, being able to connect with some like-minded professionals, entrepreneurs that I know will be able to have the same client focus that I have, that's the most important thing. And that's what I get most out of the group.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris, to see that you remember the members of your chapter in by names. As you said, it's really all about building relationship and educating people because people will not necessarily know everything you do in one day and the services and even your story that you have just told us. So thank you so much. And I think that's why we say minimum 1 year so people can learn about you and get to know what you do. Thank you for your participation. So with that said, we actually bringing this to an end. But our viewers, I wanted to remind you that this show is sponsored by the Entrepreneur Nation. And the Entrepreneur Nation, as Chris said, is a business networking group. It's a business referral group where we bring together licensed professionals and entrepreneurs so they can refer clients to each other. They become a resource base for each other. If they need something, they don't have to go and Google it. They know the person who can provide. And we believe that we find success together when we work together. Thank you so much, our viewers, for watching.